This is Joe Like Cover. My name is Sandy, and welcome to the final episode of the Saga series. This is the Volume 9 recap of the Saga series, my reread. My name is Sandy. Thank you for joining. This is the last volume that I've read, and here we go. Again, spoiler, spoiler alert. So if you want to read and want to catch up, go back and read volumes 1 through 8. Go watch the videos, do whatever you got to do. This is volume 9. And if you don't want to watch it, or if you don't want to read it, and you just want to watch me talk about it, then go back and look at the episodes. But this is volume 9. If you remember at the end of volume 8, Squire and Goose were reunited with Robot Prince 4 and the fam. Petrichor and Robot Prince 4 kind of making out, getting freaky. And Alana has lost her second child. So volume 9 starts off, boom, with a page, first page, the will is naked and is a prisoner to Ianthe. And Ianthe is this like woman, or I don't know if they're a woman actually. I don't know who they are, but they're seeking revenge for the death of their lover. Their lover was killed by the will. And Petrichor and Prince 4 are hooking up. They are getting freaky. The two journalists that have been following, Alana, Marco, and Hazel this entire time finally have joined the family. And Squire and Hazel are kind of having these like brother-sister fights. Like they're biting each other. Like it's really cute. It's a thing. Prince Robot 4 tries to exchange a story with the journalist in order to obtain immunity and new identities for him and Squire and Petrichor. And it turns out that Marco is a writer. Like, who knew all this time? One of the journalists runs into the will and Ianthe. Ianthe murders the journalist, but somehow the journalist is able to free the will from imprisonment. Princeling runs away because he doesn't want a new identity. The other journalist kills Ianthe. The will kills Robot Prince 4 because Robot Prince 4 murdered his love of his life, the Stalk. The will and Marco end up trapped on Ianthe's spaceship. And the will stabs Marco in the chest, like a huge gaping hole in the chest. Like sometimes Saga does this thing where they like kind of like mislead a little bit, or like kind of like over exaggerate, or kind of like lead you into thinking a certain thing. But there is literally a huge hole in Marco's chest. Like this family has been through so much shit, and just let them live and be together, right? And that's the end. That's the end of volume 9. And there's so many feelings I have about this. Like Prince Robot 4, like after all that he and this family has been through, the fact that he tries to bribe the journalist to obtain immunity and get new identities for him, Squire, and Petrichor only, even though it's been proven time and time again that like his family goes bigger than that. And the fact that he like doesn't know how to stick up for Hazel, Alana, Marco, like that's so sad, right? I think that makes it really sad. And then also like the will, like just straight up murdering everybody. Like everyone's left him, so now he does not care. And now he's just like murdering everyone. And like the fact that like he almost got murdered, and the only reason he didn't get murdered is because someone else came to save him, right? And killed the Ianthe for him. And the only reason that he was about to get murdered was because he had murdered other people. So like he just represents this like constant cycle of like violence, and like how that cycle of violence doesn't help anyone keep the ones that they love safe. And it's so sad and tragic, and yet he has not learned anything from it. Like, he's still committing violence and still killing and still hurting people amidst all of that. Okay, so that's that. Ianthe, I just like couldn't buy into why Ianthe was so like mad. Like, I get it, and but I think like the introduction was so late in the story that like it got it was really hard for me to get invested in her why. Like, I understand the why of why she's like taking the Will as prisoner to make him suffer, but also it was like it just kind of felt like, okay, this was like a little, I don't know. I just don't know enough backstory or context about that character as to like why did they decide to take it upon themselves to try to kill this assassin. Like, that part was like, and how do you track down and kill an assassin? Like, you have to be an assassin to do that. Like, I just like couldn't believe the story. So that was really, really hard for me to kind of get along with. And then like the story of the two journalists was like really beautiful because, you know, they were a same-sex couple and they're basically like planet hopping everywhere to just find a place where they can be accepted for their love. And it's been proven to be so, 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 so difficult. And with this family, it's like they're finding hope that even if there isn't acceptance, that you could still exist. And I think they find hope in that. And then the lengths that they go to try to, you know, save that and keep that. And like the fact that there's so much death as a result of them trying to save that and keep that is really tough. And also that was the thing too, like these journalists are ultimately, I think, trying to tell the story to like make people believe in hope in this forbidden love. But, you know, will everyone else, the horns and the wings, be able to, Landfall and Wraith, be able to really read the story and understand it and also agree? Like, that's kind of a big if. Or will it just kind of be like thrown away, right? So yeah, we don't know what happens. Is Marco alive, dead? He has this huge hole in his chest, and this family like has been through so much, and Alana and Marco and Hazel just want to be together, and it's been so hard for them. And I think just seeing their story like from the beginning to them at the end where they're kind of split up and we don't know if Marco is dead, and you know how they've been running so much and so hard for the full 9 volumes, and like for him to just be alone kind of with this, you know, his potential death, being murdered by the Will, like that's wild. And why is the Will invested? Well, you know, Gwendolyn is Marco's ex. And so it's like just revenge. And like Marco, even though he's been running for such a long time for all of that, like he's still getting caught up in it. And like how violence kind of like pulls you in. Like that, even if you're trying to avoid it, sometimes you can't avoid it. So those are kind of some like wild parts of the story. Also, I really love that Petrichor and Robot Prince 4 are together and that they're kind of starting this new family. But it does also feel like that was like a total sellout move, and like Robot Prince 4, like, you know, you kind of want him to get, you know, he finally is, you know, trying to get his own version of his own family on his terms. And even in that moment, Princeling runs away because he doesn't want a new family. He doesn't want a new identity. He already has a sister. He has Hazel. He already has this huge family that he really cares about. So it's a lot of bittersweet moments. And they've been through so much. Just let Marco live. Let them be together. Let them love and take care of one another. That's all they want to do. They're not hurting anybody. But thank you so much for joining me on this journey. It's been a journey, recapping the saga series. Thank you so much for making it to volume 9 recap. I really hope you enjoy the series. The series is really beautiful. There are so many beautiful moments in the reading, in the pages. Visually, it's very beautifully drawn. The storytelling is amazing. It really grabs you and makes you invest. And a lot of the topics are really tough topics that everyone is facing around the world. They're not stories that are kind of being happening in isolation. It's kind of how we all connect with one another, and they're real stories, real heavy stories and emotions and feelings that everyone is going through. So I hope you enjoy the series. If you like my recaps, let me know what other series should I recap. There are a couple other graphic novels that I'm really into, but if you have any other suggestions on things I should read and recap, let me know. I would love to do more of these. But thank you so much for joining on this journey. My name is Sandy. This is the Saga series. This is the Volume 9 recap. Enjoy. Bye. Thank you.